The second best team in the East last year were the Brooklyn Nets, 48-24. And it felt like they made an all-star cast of additions. Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, James Johnson. Then they secured their future with Cam Thomas and Kessler and Day'Ron Sharpe. They made a lot of great moves, and I think we all are picking them to make it out the East if healthy. We know Kyrie right now with we're not getting vaccinated. That's a concern if he's going to be there or not. What do you think about the Nets this year? Where are they going to finish in the East? This is the biggest mystery right now.
Is this a mystery?
I think it is because Kyrie has made it that.
This is the best team in the league. Kyrie or no Kyrie.
Oh, my God.
This is the best team in the NBA. Kyrie has become, no offense, one of the most expendable superstars or all-stars in the NBA. This team doesn't, with Kyrie, they only make him more dangerous, but this team doesn't need Kyrie because of the additions that they made this offseason. Bringing LA back. Shout out to LA. He's healthy. He's able to play. Shout out to him. Bringing in Patty Mills. Had a great draft and getting Kessler Edwards, Day'Ron Sharpe, and Cam Thomas, another guy who James Harden just said was a better player coming out of college than him, which he was. I watched. No, he was.
Harden was like the number 2-3 pick, wasn't he?
That was a different time. Cam Thomas was a better scorer coming out of college.
Cam Thomas is better than James Harden coming out of college?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't disagree.
I think he was a better scorer. I think he was a better scorer coming out of college.
I think Cam Thomas is different, man.
But like I was saying,
what pick was Cam, like 20th?
That don't matter. I'm going to be honest.
Sorry. All right, we'll see.
But, bringing back Blake Griffin, Joe Harris is still there. This team, Paul Millsap, getting him, this team is deep. This team can run 8-9 deep. Bruce Brown is still there. Kevin Durant and James Harden are 2 top 7 players in the league. Kevin Durant being the best player in the NBA and James Harden being that top 6 guy. This team has more than enough to get past Milwaukee. It has more than enough to get past LA and win the chip. They have shooters everywhere. They have depth at the big man position, which they needed to handle Giannis and Bam and those bigs in the East. And they can handle Anthony Davis and LeBron because they have depth at that spot. So I think this is the best team in the East. This is a team that got retooled and refocused. And without Kyrie and all the drama, I think this team is still good enough to go to the finals and win it all.
Now you're saying this without Kyrie?
Yeah.
They're
clear.
Still the best team in the league.
I think Patty Mills is being slept on a lot.
Okay, I mean, I'm not disrespecting.
He's not Kyrie, but he can fill that.
He's not Kyrie, but he's 42% from 3. A gritty defender, tough as nails. I like Patty Mills a lot.
So, again, mine's predicated off Kyrie being there. With Kyrie being there, there's still a cheat code. Obviously, apparently, you think without him, there's still a cheat code. So you can only imagine how it would be if Kyrie Irving was on the lineup with James Harden, KD, Blake Griffin, LA, Patty Mills. The team's loaded, unfortunately. Yeah. It's amazing. I gotta be listen, unfortunately it's good. I can't support this man, Kevin Durant. Nevertheless, just being honest, they have the best offensive firepower in the league. You bring in a guy in Patty Mills, you only add to that lethal 3-point shooting. And you're right, you hit it right in the head. Without Kyrie, even though losing Kyrie is a loss, I don't believe that they're the same team without Kyrie Irving. I don't think they're better than Milwaukee without Kyrie Irving. Unless you think that Patty Mills is going to be the solution and that's going to be enough to get over Milwaukee's team.
I have a question because I think this is an interesting one, not to toot my own horn. James Harden, without Kyrie, now gets more opportunity. We can't forget about that.
I think James Harden was healthy and he comes back, they beat Milwaukee.
Okay.
Like, they beat Milwaukee. I think if Harden's fully healthy and he comes back, they win.
But the thing about it is I think when you tell James Harden you're going to run the offense, it's all you. We're running through you. Score, pass, do what you do. I think James Harden now doesn't have that kind of monkey on his back. Okay, now I got to get Kyrie into things because the players around Brooklyn, KD, Harden, the shooters they have, they all can play within a rhythm. I think Kyrie's that one guy that occasionally you have to get out of the rhythm to appease him because his scoring is not very predicated off of rhythm.
For sure.
The rhythm of a team and an offense.
The one thing that I do want to say is health-wise, can we bank on these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Other than Harden last season, because obviously Harden has had a clean bill of health up until last year. And last year he really wasn't hitting the gym because he wanted to get out of Houston. And he goes to Brooklyn.
Put himself in a bad spot.
He did. He put his body in a bad spot to get to a point where it failed him when he needed it most. But as great as Kevin Durant is, of course, can we trust that he will be there the full season? for them to be that top seed in the East.
I don't
We
think they
can't
need to
trust it, but they were 29-7 with James Harden.
I don't think they
And
need
Kyrie
to be a top
Irving.
seed.
Kyrie Irving, he was out too. He didn't play the majority of the season.
He did play a good portion of
He
the
missed
season.
over half.
How many games did he play? Do you have it in front of you?
Rav, you can search it up for
I
me.
got you. Go ahead.
They were 12-6 without Kyrie.
Okay. I mean, regardless of that, you're right.
Nah,
James
he played 54 games.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say he played a
My
lot, good,
apologies.
decent amount of the season, but I do firmly believe Kyrie Irving, what he gives them offensively, will be missed. You're losing 27, 28 points per game. We can't just overlook that. And if we're going to talk about the depth, of course, Joe Harris is a solid shooter. Patty Mills, solid shooter, good facilitator of the offense. I'm not ready to say without Kyrie Irving, they're better than Milwaukee.
Lakers fan. Okay. Let's get on to Brooklyn, right? My biggest question for them is just defense. That's really it. Offensively, they're the best team in the NBA. With or without Kyrie, they're going to be the best offensive team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden had worse personnel in Houston, and they were amongst the top of the league,
For
either the
sure.
second or first every year.
For sure.
Now they're getting that in Brooklyn. Kyrie makes this team unfair.
Agreed.
But without Kyrie, they can still compete for a championship. And I'd even say if Kyrie was in the building and the continuity of the team was there, their chemistry is there, I would say this would be my pick to beat Golden State's regular season record of 73 wins in 2016. But because that's not the case, I won't say that. But my biggest problem is defense. Are they going to be a bad defense, one of the worst in the league like they were last year, or are they going to be top 20 at least? Because they don't have to be a top 10 defense. Just have a top 21. I don't think that's the case because what they did in free agency, their identity, I think they're saying, we're building our identity around offense. Yeah, you got Millsap, who's a good defender, but between him and Jeff Green, who's better right now, it's a toss-up. LaMarcus Aldridge isn't offering too much on the defensive side of the ball, and with all the players they got, how many minutes is Claxton going to get realistically? So I think they've accepted their identity of being an offense-first team, but they have to show more effort on the defense side of the ball if they really want to be a lock to make the NBA Finals and win it all ultimately.
I don't even think that's the case. They played. You watched them in the playoffs, man. They played the best defensive team in the East. In Milwaukee, they had Milwaukee. We was talking about it. They had the personnel, this, that, and third. What they gonna do with Giannis? And granted, yeah, Giannis wild out, but Brooklyn had a lot of key stops, and they played pretty solid defense for a team that doesn't have personnel to play defense. So I think come playoff time, when they lock in, they'll be able to lock in against any team. It's just what other team is going to be able to score with Brooklyn. I think that's always going to be the question because on any these like defensively, Brooklyn can guard in the playoffs, but on offense, can Milwaukee? That was the question. Can Milwaukee score with them? It's going to be the question for Miami, Atlanta. The same question. Can these teams score with a team that's led by the greatest scorer ever, and then
Top 5 scorer ever.
Top 5 scorer. Like, these are two of the top 5 guys scoring of all time. Like, so are you going to be able to keep up with them? I think that's going to be the question.
Milwaukee still has the guys to go toe-to-toe for them.
Oh, for
They don't
sure.
have Tucker anymore.
No, we're talking
that's-
about offense.
Yeah, offensively, I'm saying.
Yeah, offense.
Offensively, for
You got
sure.
that.
But another thing we have to take into consideration, and I don't want to go too deep into it because they're the next guys, and this is a lot of my argument. They're going to be playing a whole lot more loose now that they won a championship. Think about that pressure that Giannis had on his shoulders. Think about that pressure that Middleton had on his shoulders. I'm not as great as everyone thinks that, or I'm not going to be as great as I think I am to the rest of the world unless I win this championship. Now they have the championship. Now they've been playing with confidence. So now I can really start to back Milwaukee because now they're going to be playing loose. They don't have nothing to prove to anyone. It's just added now. And that's going to be dangerous to watch.